Yeah, I was pretty blown away by that bomb thing when we learned about it in absolute lowest level. Both because you can get kills without XP and because of the crazy model glitch. And it's super easy to do, especially on weight. Actually, I guess it's the same difficulty on weight and active, because you still have to do the menuing the same way. But on active, you wouldn't have to necessarily wait for a turn. So I guess it's pretty much the same on active. Give me that. And that's probably it. Think about mapping the grab button to jump as well to get easier full climbs. Does that work? If it works and you have the buttons for it. Yeah, I'm not sure if it works or not. It would actually help a ton for, like, some of the setups. There's, like, that setup in Reflection that you have to do a full jump for, or a full climb for. Whenever I missed it, it was always because I messed up the full climb. So that would help. I don't know if that would work, though, because wouldn't you just grab the wall halfway up? Not sure how that buffer works. Well, like if you're approaching a wall and you already have grab held, then you just grab the wall. So I think it would just grab the wall right away. But I'd be interested to hear if it works or not. How's it going, RT? We're talking about Celeste, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know. Whenever Livestream asks me a question, it's always about Celeste. To this point, we don't even, like, say Celeste anymore. We just talk about it. Yeah. No. Oh, no frame perfect climbing in Final Fantasy VII. Yet. So whose PS1 disc freezes during this cutscene? For whatever reason, this is like the most popular cutscene to have issues on the PS1 disc. Pretty sure I had a disc growing up that just completely skipped this cutscene. I don't know why it's specifically this one. That's interesting. Yeah, as long as you take care of your disc, it's fine. But if you have like a real scratched disc, it seems like this scene is always the first one to have issues. Either just skipping it completely, or... Do I have enough money? Oof. Either skipping it completely or like freezing during that cutscene. The good old days of fixing it by opening up the disc tray. To this day, I still don't understand why that works on the PS1 but not the PS2. Does anyone know? Always been kind of curious about that. Something about the way the PS1 reads discs. Like, it probably has to do with the RAM. Yeah, it probably has to do with, like, how the PS1... But why does the PS1 use RAM differently than the PS2? Like, that's weird to me. You'd think it'd be the same. Like, even if you have a PS1 disc in a PS2, it doesn't work. Has to be a PS1 console. Maybe. Like, maybe when you open up the tray on a PS2 disc, it just... Well, no, because stuff like Monster Rancher still works on the PS2. So in Monster Rancher, you take out the disc, put in another disc, it reads it, then you take that disc out, put the Monster Rancher disc back in, and it reads it. So obviously the laser doesn't, like, turn off or anything. Let's bring Yuffie, why not? Alright, what's Kate's name? Kate's name is Chuck. Chuck Woolery. Perfect name. Nope. Chuck Testa. I forgot about that. We used to joke about Chuck Testa all the time. Nope. Just Chuck Testa. Give me that manipulate. I know it doesn't work, but just keep the all materia. In fact, you can level up an all materia and an elemental on the double. Just for the heck of it. Give me that silver bangle too. You can have Ifrit, and you can have your lightning back, I guess. How's it going, Dark Lord? Nice. New Threat 2.0 was awesome. Especially that final section was crazy. Limit Break, thank you for the 61. Also, I forgot to mention earlier. I was in the middle of trivia. D-Pal, thank you for the 30. And Snipes, thank you for the 101. Tier 2, crazy. Thank you, man. Oh, the coffee is hitting the spot this morning. I've had a week. I need that coffee directly injected into my veins. Too sad we never get to fight these things. They look kind of cool. They're like Carry Armor minis. Carry Armor Jr. Yeah, I might need to. By the end of next week, I might have to. Baby boo. All right. We have Two-Faced. So, the first cool thing about Two-Faced, actually, let's explain. Let's actually explain the bandits first, because we'll kill them first. So the bandit has multiple steals, and then he also has a new attack that steals gil. He always steals exactly 340 gil. I always thought it was random or like based on how much gil you have. It's always 340. So it's not really too scary. He also has an X potion on his steal table, which is kind of weird because he also steals stuff from you. And he also has a high potion on his morph table, which is weird because it's worse than an X potion. So it's already kind of weird that you can steal from him because normally the bandits steal from you, and they still do, but you can also steal from them. And then it's also weird because his morph is worse than his steal. His morph is a high potion and his steal is an X potion. I kind of wonder if those were supposed to be flipped. So let's kill these guys. Before they steal my goods. Okay. And now I can show you that Two-Faced does nothing until you attack it. So it will just sit there until you attack it. So whenever you get a fight with Two-Faced and other enemies, you can always kill the other enemies first. So when you attack Two-Faced, they have a 1/4 chance to use their flip move. And then when they use their flip move, it's a 50% chance to either self-destruct or cure 3. And it's a 50% chance, so the model is actually accurate. It's 50% chance for one head and 50% chance for the other head. And if they do this attack, then you don't get any rewards from the fight. And then if you happen to have a War Gong, which I just cheated to give myself one, you can do this. I said If you happen to have a War Gong, which I just cheated to give myself one, you can do this. So, the two-faced Berserk table only has one attack, which most of them do, and it's an attack that he does not have enough MP to use. So he will just sit here and it'll say two-face skill power is used up forever. Until you kill him. He will just non-stop try to use an attack that he can't use. Do I have a remedy? I don't think I do. Let's see what we get. And we got a self-destruct. Nope, he does not have enough max MP to use it. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me actually look real quick. If it's the glitched move that a lot of enemies have, or if it's something different. Let me look. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I was going to explain this with a different enemy, but I can explain it here. Some enemies in this game, including Two-Faced, their Berserk attack table is basically bugged, and the attack they try to use costs 65,535 MP. And it does 0 damage to a random target, but they can never use it anyways because they don't have enough MP. And I tried glitching the game to give them 65,535 MP, and even then, they don't use it. So, it's just a glitched attack that can't be used at all. And even if they did use it, it doesn't do anything. And plenty of enemies have it, but a lot of those enemies can't be berserked, but some of them they screwed up and the enemy can be berserked, like Two-Faced. So then they try to use that attack and it does nothing. It's obvious that they meant to give him immunity to berserk, but they just forgot. Duct tape in a dream. We're making it pretty far today. I figured we'd probably make it to like Coral Desert today, but it's looking like we're going to make it all the way to maybe Gungaga. Yeah, it might have been a failsafe of like, if an enemy tries to use an attack that doesn't exist, use this. Like it's just an unnamed attack. That's fine, I guess. Just give him whatever. Give him a restore. Give him a restore and he'll be fine. And yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Give him a carbon bangle. Did you know you can sleep in the truck? You can do that? Alright, so we have one more enemy in here that I think only appears on this field. Also, we should mention the well. Just for those of you that don't know, there's a debug fight hidden in the well, only on the Japanese version. If you want to see it, you can watch my Japanese version playthrough. But basically, there's like a 1 in 32 chance of getting a debug fight that they accidentally left in the game. It's 4 guardhound enemies that are broken, and they say ow and weird stuff when you attack them, and it gives a crazy amount of XP and AP and gil. And it's pretty dope, and they even referenced it in Remake, which to this day is still one of the craziest references I've ever seen in a game. I still can't believe they did that. Is it here? Did they show up here? Or is it the previous screen? Yeah, they show up here. No, it's way too rare. Takes forever to find it. Plus, you don't really need to level up in the speedrun. Alright, here is Deathclaw. So, Deathclaw has the only learnable laser in the game until the final dungeon. And they're completely missable once you leave the prison. So this is your only chance to get laser until the final dungeon. They only use laser after using barrier or M barrier on themselves with a 25% chance, but you can also just manipulate them to use it. And this is a really funny one. I can understand typos, especially with how many enemies exist in this game, which, you know, I really did not realize how many enemies are in this game until I started this project. So I can understand that the guidebook would screw up a name here and there, but this one is a bit ridiculous. So in the Brady guide, there is 2 entries for Deathclaw. One says the prison, and then the other one says the crater, and has way more HP, and has death roulette. So this is actually Death Dealer. This is supposed to be Death Dealer, the Joker enemy that's in the final dungeon, but they accidentally named it Deathclaw and gave it the Deathclaw picture, but then everything else is accurate. So they just screwed up the name and the picture. All the other information is all Death Dealer's information. So, not really sure how they messed that up, but there it is. Death Claw and Death Ear Claw. And I think that's it. Oh, and Deathclaw has a pretty cool concept art. His leg, do his legs actually look like that? They kind of do, actually. I never noticed that. They have kind of like blocky feet. There you go. There's the Deathclaw concept art. For some reason, he only has half his arms in this picture. And it looks like he's talking. Pretty cool concept art. And yeah, laser is really strong, really great enemy skill to have. Very much worth grabbing. And they have a platinum bangle as well for steel, which is nice. Oh, he did it for me. I didn't have to do it. I love when enemies have attacks that are the same as their name. Like Thunder Kiss has a Thunder Kiss attack and Deathclaw has a Deathclaw attack. It's like a Pokemon. He says his own name. Does Flamethrower do any damage? Yeah, not bad. Alright. Time for the Alaskan Bullworm. I actually have to go into Endless Desert for this, which is annoying because I'm going to get lost, but oh well. Kind of need to get lost anyways because we got to find cactuars and that's going to take a while. Alright, the Alaskan Bullworm. So the Endless Desert has Landworm at a 15 out of 16 chance encounter. And you can steal Turbo Ethers from them, or they drop regular ether. Or wait, did I say elixir? Turbo Ethers from them, or they drop regular ethers as well, making them a great ether grind early in the game. So you can sit here and steal turbos, or you can just kill a bunch of them and get a bunch of regular ethers. They are weak to ice, and both of their attacks are earth. So if you defend against earth elemental, it can help as well. One thing that is pretty weird is if he's poisoned or confused, he will always use the Sandstorm attack. I don't know why particularly that's part of his AI, but there's a very specific part of his AI that says if he's poisoned or confused, always use Sandstorm, which is extra weird because he can't be confused normally. He is immune to confusion. Now, if I cheat and I give him confusion even though he's not supposed to have confusion, and I speed up the game to 5 times speed, this is what happens. So I don't know if they planned for this, and then decided like, nah, that's dumb, and just made him immune to confusion. But this is what his AI does if he's confused. But he can't normally be confused. And then, like I said, if I poison him... Oh, I don't think I have poison. I took it off. If I poison him, he'll also just use Sandstorm over and over. I don't think I have any ice either. Can I use laser on him? Not actually sure. Yes, I can. So kind of cool that he has like a specific punish for being poisoned, although him spamming Sandstorm isn't really that big of a punish, but it is cool that his AI has something special for that. Especially given how good poison is up to this point. You're probably just... If you're playing this for the first time and you've learned how good poison is, you're probably just spamming poison on everything, especially big enemies. Can I take your restore just because, like, having only one restore is cringe? Alright. We're going to be here a while till we find a Cactuar. 1 in 16 chance. If I don't find one by the time the carriage comes, maybe I'll just force one. Although I think... Because Cactuar is a rare encounter, I feel like for the sake of the challenge, we should do it legit. I said I would cheat if, like, the game's being dumb and not giving us a certain encounter we want, but this one's kind of... That's the whole gimmick of the encounter, is that it's rare. So, I think we should stick it out. Do 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 do. I'll just stay on the screen. How's it going, Ryan? Oops. I don't think that works. Where you at, Mr. Cactus? Little cactus man. Yeah, I really like this section. I think it's been so long since I played the game for the first time that the area doesn't have the same effect on me anymore, but when you were a kid and you got here and it really felt like this endless desert with the music and just constant worm battles, it's great. And the story being genuinely depressing at this point, too. It's definitely one of the highlights of the game. I mean, Barrett's whole story is one of my favorite things about the game. What's the deal with the guy that follows you around when you first spawn in the desert? He just wants to sell you some pills. He's just got some merchandise. He's trying to get off his table. I always thought that guy like stole your gill or something, but he doesn't. He just follows you. Because, like, the guy on the train steals your gill at the start of the game, so it would make sense that he would steal your gill, but he doesn't. At least I don't think he does. Definitely sells clocks. Yeah, perhaps. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah. It's probably so that it makes sense that there's someone behind the couch during the Barrett scene. There he is. Alright, so this is a cactuar. I always found this weird that the real cactuars show up here. And on Cactus Island later, it's cactuars. You would think it's the other way around. You'd think you'd start with like the fake one and then you'd find the real ones later, but this is the real cactuar. And they give only 1 XP and 1 AP, but they give 10,000 gil. So in old low-level challenges, a lot of times they would grind this enemy. We couldn't grind him in absolute lowest level because the whole thing with absolute lowest level is that we could not get any extra XP, even if it was just 1 XP. Unfortunately, he gives 1 XP, not 0, so we couldn't fight him. But in old low-level challenges, you could fight quite a bit of these guys without going up any real significant XP. He actually does have 1,000 needles on his attack table, but he never uses it. He also has a 1 in 16 chance of being found and only exists in the Endless Desert, so it's a pretty rare encounter. Having said that, a lot of people get lost in the Endless Desert the first time they play, so a lot of people have still seen the enemy. Every round, he gets a chance to set his defense percent to 87.5, or sorry, he has an 87.5% chance to set his defense percent to max. So this is, did we have an enemy that was similar to this earlier? I think we did, but I forget who it was. Who was the other enemy that did this? I can't remember. But I had mentioned before that there was an enemy similar to this that would dodge stuff, and the way that this works... Oh, the turtle... Was it the turtle guy? The turtle guy had a chance to set his defense to 255. This is defense percent, dodge chance. So it's a little different. What's cool about this, the way that this works, is instead of having like a super high evade chance, he instead has a super high chance to set himself to max evade. So it works differently than just regular evade chance. Basically, if this happens, he will dodge everything, including limit breaks. So he's one of the only enemies in the game that can dodge limit breaks. So if I spam limit breaks on him, if I spam him, then they'll either all miss or all hit because it happens at the start of his turn. So let's do one. Okay, so now if I use all these, they'll all miss. Because his evade is still set to max. Because he hasn't had a turn yet. So he's going to dodge all 3 of these. Oh, nope. He must have gotten a turn in between those 2. So there you go. That one hit. But yeah, if you ever wondered, can limit breaks miss? Yes, they can. It looks very strange. You would not expect it, but... there's only a few enemies in the game that can do that. There's another one later that we'll mention that can do that. But it's because their dexterity is basically set to max on like a chance roll instead of just having a regular high evade. He also has immunity to every element but wind. So the best way to kill him actually is to use Chocomog. Or you can use non-elemental items like grenades, or you can use Mantra Magic. Those are the best ways to kill him. Chocomog is definitely the best way. And then also we have a cool little concept art for Cactuar. I love the little wanted and how tiny he is. And I don't know if this is like him dodging. I don't know what the X and the circle are. You'd have to read what this says. Let me see if I can get like a a crappy translation. I'm sure someone in the comments will probably give us a better translation, but what's Google Translate say? Always move in this state. Even when moving towards the character, use this pose. So it's basically just saying, whatever he's doing, he still looks like that. I'm guessing this is like if he's attacking. But yeah. Pretty nice concept art. Accept him as he is. Now we gotta get out of here. I mean, you probably wouldn't even have to use a model viewer. You just have to go back and look and see if they're the same. All right, one more enemy who shows up in this area. I guess you could probably say this enemy's kind of rare because this area is pretty small. And I think he only shows up here. Maybe he shows up in the spot with the well too, though. I'm not sure. I was thinking maybe he only shows up here because of like the debris. Yo, thank you, Joshua. There he is. So this is Bull Motor. He uses Mantra Magic, so there's another chance to learn Mantra Magic if you want it. Bull Motor has some really nice items. He has an X Potion Steel, a 14% Ether Drop, and a Turbo Ether Morph. Granted, you can't have Morph at this point. He also prioritizes using Body Blow if he's in the front row. So if I were to kill the 2 Death Claws, he would then start using Body Blow more often. And he's surprisingly not weak against lightning, even though it obviously looks like he should be. And now it's dying time.